Hey, folks. Well, this is my second post of the day, but I felt like I couldn't not post about how that masterclass went. Wow. I had my mind blown by that. So I was the first person to play, and like at the beginning of the thing, we did kind of a mindfulness exercise, a little meditation. It was great. We just kind of settled in. And then I played, and she sort of like, she spoke just a little bit about the piece. She said it was a lovely performance, and it was very complimentary and whatnot. But she immediately asked me how I felt, physically, and just kind of asked me what it was like to perform, what I was feeling as I was performing. And I told her, feeling some tightness here and there, nerves here or there, whatever came up. It actually was I felt pretty good. I didn't have horrible nerves as I was playing. I noticed that, and I think it was, settling into that environment and having a little meditation before I played. It was kind of perfect. But all the same physical stuff that I've always had was still there, was still present, and I just found myself like. So then she had me back up. She basically said, "You're sitting way too close to the piano." She said, "You should be sitting on the front of the bench, and you should be way further away from the piano." And she had me back up the bench. I looked. She had me back up the piano bench almost one entire piano bench width's worth. Like I felt like I was no longer sitting at the piano. When I first sat down on the where she sort of said it was right. She said, "Extend my arms out till my fists are able to touch the fingerboard with my arms outstretched, and as long as my elbows were bent, I was too close." So then as I sat there, all of a sudden I felt like this massive space. It was like I was moving the piano into the range of where the power of my arms and my body actually is, as opposed to being in a range where there's much, much, much less power. And then she had me do a couple of exercises, like just, single finger stuff, one finger stuff, and then incorporating those into the playing, into the actual what I was doing with the piece. We really didn't play too much of the piece. She had me really kind of isolating certain movements, and then we did work on one part of that piece, which has kind of always just been my nemesis. And it was like I instantly cracked the code. It was like just the way that she described what the hand is doing in that section was like, oh, boom, now that's playable. It's never felt playable. Now it feels playable, like in one quick session. But the thing that was most just kind of eye-opening was how much power I felt like I had. I just felt like there's a whole new level of power available to me at the piano. And it was almost like she was saying, she didn't say this explicitly, but just what she did for me and what she imparted and how she adjusted me physically. It was almost like she was saying, you have permission to be powerful. Which is something I've always actually felt a little strange with at the piano. Like I've always had a sense like there's more power available to me than I'm using. And I was never sure how to access it. I was always kind of unclear how pianists get that level of power. And it was this experience today of just putting some distance between me and the instrument, letting my arms really relax out as I play. It was almost like my lower dantian, my lower and middle dantian energy centers of my body just like created this energy ball between me and the piano, and all of a sudden, bam, I could just like I started playing so loudly. I mean, not that that's necessarily an accomplishment. It's not that I always want to play loud now, but it just gave me so much more power. It was just unbelievable. And I can totally see what she's saying about, how fluency in certain sections is going to just become possible where it wasn't possible before. So yeah, it was cool. I was like, wow, this is amazing. And what an amazing experience to have right on the cusp of moving our lives. I was like, this feels like a transition in so many ways. Even my piano playing is being transformed by this period. It's totally remarkable. There's just, yeah, I mean, I just kind of sat there so we each had a 40-minute, there were 3 of us playing, and we each had a 40-minute session, and I just sat there afterwards. I just felt my whole spine tingling. It was like my body was waking up at the piano. It felt just different than I've ever felt before. And again, to kind of reiterate, the message was, I'm allowed to be powerful. There's been this way in which I've felt like I'm inhibited, or I have to be. There's a weird kind of like suppression that I felt, and this is kind of like saying, no, use your whole body. Claim the instrument, claim your power, literally just physically claim your power at this instrument. It's going to change everything. So yeah, I can't wait to do this work. This is going to be so exciting over the next several weeks. But what an eye-opener in one day, man. Wow. So I'm sure I'll be playing more for you soon. You'll see what I'm talking about. You'll see a new approach, a new way of relating to the instrument. So I look forward to that. Much love, folks. Have a great day. I'll see you very soon.